I want to talk a little bit about trust in general, whether it's the start of the call, end of the call, regardless, it's all the same thing, right? Just some thoughts that were kind of going through my head. I think it's a very important concept. And I want to go a little bit deeper into that to give you guys a better framework on how you can actually build trust. Okay. And this is something I think we need to talk a little bit more about just in general, right? There's a lot of ways you can do this, but I want to go a little bit into, the psychology of somebody that, you'd actually speak with, right? I kind of want to talk about that, and I want to talk about what you guys can do to, basically use that to your advantage and, adjust your approach accordingly, right? I think bottom line, right? And especially for those of you who are on calls, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. The thing is most salespeople and most people just in general, they feel that, well, when it comes to building certainty, right? Because that's what trust is, right? Trust is certainty. If I have, full trust in, Amon, for example, right? It's because I have full certainty and I know how he's going to act. Like I know that he has my back, for example. I know what he's about. I know, how he operates, and I know that I can trust him, right? If I give, Rome, for example, I've given him my car for the week when I've been out of town. I'm like, here, just have my car, right? When at times when he didn't have a car, right? And like I have full trust in him because I have a certain degree of certainty that he's not going to freaking crash it. You know what I mean? He's not going to be an idiot with it. And he's going to take care of it, treat it as his own, and I have nothing to worry about, right? So trust comes from certainty, right? And we talk about it all the time on sales calls, right? It's a transfer of certainty, right? You need to transfer certainty to your prospect that they're going to be able to see the results that they want to see, and they're going to be able to have the experience that they want to see when they're joining your program, okay? Here's the thing. When it comes to transferring that certainty, most salespeople, they feel the need to, and this is the amateur stuff, right? Like you feel the need to promise like the best possible results in the shortest amount of time with the highest likelihood, right? Where it's like, hey, you're going to be making $100,000 a month within 3 months, guaranteed, if you follow X, Y, and Z steps, right? What's interesting is a lot of people, a lot of your prospects, like even if it's not that's an extreme example, right? But a lot of your prospects, they want you to say that. Well, they ask you to say that. They ask you for these guarantees, and they want that to exist. But subconsciously, they know it's not real. And subconsciously, they don't fucking trust that shit. And they're not going to buy. Like, they will literally ask you, hey, like, how much money can I make in XYZ time? And what are the chances that I make it? Right? Like, they're literally asking you to say, hey, before I buy, tell me exactly what I can expect, Like they'll ask for you to give them that guarantee, but that is the last guarantee that you're ever going to make, because one, it's unethical, and two, it's also not going to close the deal, right? Because let me tell you why, right? And does that make sense, by the way? Like that's like people want you to say that, but they don't want you to say that, which is freaking crazy, right? It says a lot about like people and prospects and the psychology and the mindset, right? Like they want the guaranteed perfect result, everything to be amazing, but the moment you give them that, they're going to get skeptical, right? Because it's too good to be true now, right? So what the hell do they want, right? So here's why, right? When and I was thinking about this all last night. I went to a little shisha spot next to my house and just got a tea, a shisha. I was just noting this out, and I was really thinking about it because it got me going after I got back yesterday. The thing is even back to the Lambo example, right? Like whenever we talk about, hey, if a stranger walks up to you, right, says, hey, look at this Lambo right here. This is all yours. Here are the keys. Here's the title. Here's the ownership. Just give me 10 grand and it's all yours, right? What's the first thing that comes to mind? Is it a scam? Is this actually a real Lambo? How's this guy ripping me right now? What's this guy doing? Right? That's the first thing that comes to mind. So the thing is with like that's exactly what your prospect is worried about when they hop on a call with you, right? They already understand the value before they even show up. That's the distinction I want to make, right? They already know that they're applying for the Lambo for 10 grand, right? If someone's applying for your Amazon FBA program, like they already understand, hey, best case scenario, I become extremely successful with Amazon FBA, and this turns into a multi-million-dollar income, right? And chances are on this, call that I'm about to hop on, like this guy's going to pitch me some, program that's probably 10, 15 G's. Best case scenario, I make millions of dollars. That's a better deal than the Lambo for 10K, right? They already know that coming into the call, right? All you see in the high ticket space, and just in any space in general, but especially in the high ticket space, like all day, every single offer that's out there, they're going to promote the best case studies. They're going to promote the best testimonials. They're going to put the most amazing results, the best case scenario up front. Otherwise, nobody's going to apply for it, right? And like even I'm guilty of this. Like even on the damn YouTube that I have, it's like I sit down and I do interviews and I do case studies with the closers who are crushing it. I don't do interviews with the closers who got started, had limiting beliefs, gave up on themselves, and then saw no results. Like you're not going to see any promotion about that. You're only going to see promotion about the best case results, right? So what just kind of back to my point here, right? Your prospect is only going to show up when they see that best case scenario, right? When they see the results, when they see all the flashy stuff, that's what's going to pique their interest and their curiosity. When they hop on the sales call with you, the biggest thing that they're worried about is, okay, what are the chances that I can be that best case scenario? Right? Is that even possible for me? Right? Or in other words, they're also thinking about, hey, like what's the worst case scenario? How do I know that this is even going to work? How do I know if I'm going to get scammed? Right? Back to that Lambo example, right? If I put a Lambo in front of you and I say it's only 10K, first thing that comes to your mind is it's too good to be true. How is this not going to work out? How am I going to get scammed here? Your freaking fight or flight defense mechanism jumps in right away, right? So that's the biggest thing that's on your prospect's mind, right? So again, a lot of salespeople will hop on the call and they'll justify and they'll talk about all these amazing things and these big numbers and this good stuff. They've already seen all that shit. That's not going to do anything really, right? And I find myself like on sales calls, like I'm very rarely like hyping up anything. I'm very rarely talking about amazing results and this and that and pushing my program, right? In most cases, I'm talking about the flip side. I'm talking about what they're really concerned about, which is it going to work for me? And what's the worst case scenario? How would this not work out for me? Right? So what you want to do, and this is something that I've seen Hormozi talk a lot about, Alex Hormozi, where you lead with the negatives, right? Where you lead with integrity, you build trust by completely owning all of the deficiencies and all of the ways that your prospect could potentially fail and all of the things that would make for example, you guys see me do it all the time. Hey, Mr. Prospect, listen, I just want to be upfront here. Like if we're going to work together, like it's going to require that you hop on 10 freaking group calls every single week. You do role plays on your own time. You network with strangers. You push yourself out of your comfort zone. You take constructive criticism on a weekly basis. And then you'll be in a position where you can get placed with a lucrative high ticket offer and you can start making money working online. right? I'll lead with all of that because that's the difficulty. That's technically the deficiency. You could look at that as a, you know, as a great thing because you learn the skills and you learn the mindset and you learn, you know, how to really commit to something and fall in love with it and obsess with it. But like that really is the deficiency, right? Because that's what your prospect has to invest into, you know, the program for it to work out the way that they want to. So I will like overly gain commitments on that side of things because if I'm, you know, really on the same page with that, like if my prospect understands 100% the effort, sacrifice, energy, they're like, okay, fuck, this is gonna suck, this is gonna be painful, this is gonna be hard for a couple months, but after I go through with that, I'll be able to get the result that I want to see. It becomes more believable because the thing that your prospect is worried about is like, what's the unknown, right? What's the thing that I don't know? Right? Okay, sure. I've seen all the marketing. I've seen all the amazing results. Great. What's the thing that like I haven't seen? Right? What's behind the scenes? What's like the real shit behind, you know, working with these guys? Right? If you can lead with that, then all of a sudden that unknown becomes known. Right. And rather than, you know, being scared of really talking about those negatives and like just brushing over them, like I'd challenge you guys to really own them, right? Like a lot of the times, like people will ask me, Misha, how, if I'm getting into sales and I have a, you know, if I'm starting part-time, for example, you know, if I'm getting into sales and I can only do this part-time and I'm on a rough schedule, there's two ways I can approach this, right? I can say, oh yeah, no problem, easy. You know, like just do X, Y, and Z, do this and that, no problem, right? I can brush it off. Or I can say, hey, listen, like I'll be honest with you, it's gonna be harder than someone who's doing this full time. You have less time, you have less swings at the bat. So therefore, you're gonna have to get better at sales for this to actually work out the way that you want it to. And by the way, you know, you're talking about full day, 9 to 5, getting back home, you're tired, you want to watch Netflix, you want to chill, but you're going to spend 3 to 4 hours on the phone closing deals, full energy and full enthusiasm, right? Like that's not easy to do. But if you can do it, you'll be able to make enough money working on the side where you can replace your income and go all in full time. Do you see how much more powerful that is? Like, do you see how now it's like I'm building certainty with my prospect as opposed to just saying, oh yeah, no problem. Like it's totally cool. Like it's easy. Right? It's going to get your prospect excited. They're going to be like, holy shit, this guy's different than every other person that I've ever spoken to. You know, this person is actually has integrity. He has trust. I want to work with this guy. Right? So this is like the general approach, right? So there's a couple ways that you guys can really do this, right? I think overall, like big picture here, the way that you guys want to build trust, or really the way that I build trust, I feel like this is definitely one of my strengths in sales. Is, you know, when I'm hopping on the call, it's, you know, rather than ever having to like I just hate I've had so many sales calls, especially earlier on in my career, where like I've felt the need to like justify and to sell and to, you know, bend over backwards to close the deal, right? And doing that, it would make me like lose respect for myself. You know, like it would really piss me off when I would hop on a call with somebody and, you know, I would try and I would do all these things and I do my best, and then at the end of the day, they're like, I'm just gonna think about it. You know, and like that level of investment isn't really there. And I would feel disrespected, you know, and like I would feel some kind of a way about it, right? When you flip from being like the hunter to being the hunted, right? When you completely detach yourself from the sale, like, yeah, like I don't care if this guy closes or not, I'm just gonna keep it real with him. I'm just gonna tell him exactly what his challenges are gonna be and what he's gonna have to face. And if he's up for it, great. If he's not, cool. Like I'm not going to bend over backwards for anybody just for them to turn into a bad client, and for them to give me problems the whole time. Right? When you switch from being the hunter to being the hunted, right? When you detach from the sale and all of a sudden your prospect shows up for the call and they're like qualifying you, they're trying to figure out, okay, is this person going to be the person that I want to work with? but you completely flip that on its head, right? Where given all of the, you know, certain deficiencies, if you want to call it that, or like given all of the sacrifices and the things that need to be done within your program to see results, given all of that, you qualify your prospect based on those things, right? Based on mindset, based on effort, based on, you know, passion, based on goals and why it's so important to them, right? Where you're qualifying your prospect, right? You're analyzing your prospect if they're the right fit rather than them analyzing you, right? Like this is really, and like we've talked about this before, and like it seems, you know, really simple, but like once you can really make this frame shift on your guys' sales calls, it changes everything, right? It totally changes everything. And, you know, now people are going to look at you as an authority, as an expert. They're going to look at you and be like, yo, I want to trust this guy. I want to work with this guy. Nobody does this shit, guys, unless it's the, and the thing is too, like, especially with MC Millionaire Closers, it's like, I have a lot of conviction in this because it's my program. You know what I mean? Like I'm doing the calls, I'm doing the fulfillment. I've been living this for the past 5 years, right? So like being, you know, really part of the, you know, being on the back end and having like that entrepreneur mindset and having that frame, like it does help a lot. But I would challenge you guys to raise that level of conviction in yourselves as closers, you know, to see yourself as like, hey, like this is my damn offer and I need to qualify anybody coming in to make sure that they're the right fit, right? 3 ways that you can do this. Three actionable things that you guys can add to your you know, sales conversations to flip from being the hunter to being the hunted, right? To flip the frame where you're qualifying your prospects rather than them qualifying you, right? And 3 ways that you can actually you know, just build that trust, right? And just be the person that's different than everybody else. Because again, like people have seen all of the amazing results over and over. Like that's all you guys see online, right? Is, you know, everybody's got these crazy results and I'm making X and Y and I'm making millions and all this crazy money in short amount of time, putting in 0 effort. It's like we see this stuff nonstop, right? And most salespeople, it's like they hop on the call and they rely on all of that. And they rely on like, oh, hey, look at this testimonial and look at this screenshot and look at what we've done for everybody else. And, you know, everybody takes that approach, right? Like I really want you guys to take on like the leader approach, right? Because 1, it's going to close way more deals for you. And like Mike is saying in the chat, like you set people up for success, right? Like, which is at the end of the day is it's what we're doing. And this is just an upward spiral, by the way, right? You close more deals, you set people up for success, you build more conviction in what you're doing because you're setting up people for success, and you feel better about yourself, right? And then it's just an upward spiral. You know, your conviction just goes up and up and up. And like the more you do this, the more conviction that you're going to have in what you're doing on the phones, and the better closer that you're going to become. You know, so 3 ways that you guys can do this. Just actionable things that you guys can start implementing to your sales calls and role plays. First of all, in the agenda, right? We talk about this a lot, but in the agenda, when you start out your calls, there's a difference between like saying like, hey, I just want to see if I can help you out, and if I can, I'll show you how, and actually like meaning that, right? I think that's a massive area of focus for a lot of you. I think you really got to think about how can you like hit that agenda hard, because it's how you're going to start your call. If you can just practice the agenda really like you guys can just practice the agenda over and over and over for the next 3 days, have it perfected, and then all of a sudden, like every sales call you take, you start out with crazy authority, crazy leadership, set the frame exactly how you want it to, if you just master that agenda, right? So mean what you say, right? What's the agenda that we guys train you on? It's, hey, Mr. Prospect, what I'd like to do on this call, I just want to start out with a few questions to really see if and how I can support you. If I feel like I can, I'll show you exactly how. And if not, no hard feelings. I'll do my best to point you in the right direction. Sound good? Fair enough? Whatever, right? Really have sincerity behind what you're saying there. Really think about what you're saying, because everything that I just explained, right, this entire like 22 minutes up until this point, that's what that agenda is. But like that's what I'm telling you guys to do right here, right? I'm telling you guys to speak to your prospects as if you're trying to figure out if and how you can even support them. And if you can, you'll show them how. If not, you'll disqualify them and you'll point them in the right direction, because you're not the kind of salesperson that just reads off of a script and pitches everybody the exact same way. You guys are leaders, coaches, entrepreneurs. You guys, put people on a different path to see better results, right? Mean what you fucking say when you hit that agenda, right? Say it with sincerity. Really think about the tonality behind that, right? That's one. But because if you hit that right, immediately they're like, holy shit, this guy's an expert. Let me just take the back seat. And I'm just going to answer this guy's questions. And, hopefully he thinks I'm the right fit. That's what you want, right? That's what we want. We're shifting the frame here, right? So that's number one. Number two is going to be the way in which you gain commitments on your calls. So the way in which you gain commitments on your calls. This could be in a couple different ways. I mean, like just right off the bat, right? What I explained earlier is like lead with the negatives, lean with like the sacrifice and the pain and all of that, right? Start with that and don't be afraid of that. Like lean into it, hey, Mr. Prospect, this is what I'm going to need on your side. Okay, you're going to have to spend this is your first time getting into all this. You're going to have to spend a good couple months learning the training and really developing the skill before you do anything. After that, it's going to be hours every single day on your laptop implementing these things. You will make mistakes. There will be days where you want to quit. However, if you follow the process and you do this alongside people who are successful, it's very unlikely that you fail. Can I count on you to put in the work? Great. What you can do with commitments to give you guys something a little bit extra is even lean into whatever like challenges your prospect has, or whatever disadvantages they have, right? With the part-time thing, that example I just gave you guys, right? Where it's like, hey, listen, like it is going to be a little bit harder because, this is your situation. So like, this is exactly what's going to need to happen. And like, it's going to take some extra sacrifice on your side. Like, is that something that you can do? I have people tell me sometimes, getting into sales, right? Oh, what if I have an accent? Right? Okay, cool. Well, like, hey, let me keep it 1,000%. If you spoke fluent English and English was your first language, that would be ideal, but that's not the case, right? However, it's not going to hold you back unless you let it hold you back, unless your mindset is such that you see your accent as something that makes people trust you less, for example. Right? What that's going to mean is that you have to do more practice. You have to work on your enunciation and you have to work on speaking a little bit more. However, if you do that, you'll have what you need to go and see the results that you want to see, right? A lot of times, if someone gets into this business for the very first time, I'm brand new to all this. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I'm so lost. I don't know who to trust. I'm so much information out there. I don't know what to do. Okay. Hey, gotcha. Totally understand. Let me keep it 1,000% with you, right? You are new to this business. And there will be a learning curve, and it's not going to be easy. And I see a lot of people quit before they even get started because they're just overwhelmed with all the information. Listen, we'll help you out on the information side. Like, we'll give you a path that you can follow. However, I'm really going to need you to challenge yourself to step out of your comfort zone and to really focus on this new skill set. If you can do that, great. You'll be able to, learn this skill as if you're riding a freaking bike, and then eventually we're just going to be speeding through the momentum and get you making a bunch of money. I don't know, right? Case by case. Once you guys have a lot more context on your prospect and like what their challenges might be, you can probably give them really good advice based on those challenges. And that's the unknown, by the way, that we were talking about earlier, that is unspoken, right? I've never done this before. How do I know if it's going to work? Right? When you just like address it head on, right? And you say, hey, listen, Mr. Prospect, you've never done this before, right? It's going to take a little bit more work on your side to really learn and understand what it is that we do before we even start talking about driving sales to your business. Is that something you're ready for? all of a sudden, boom, that they're unknown that's in their head. They're like, I don't have experience. Now it becomes known. And now they're like, okay, it's just going to be a little bit difficult, but it's possible. Great. Now we just go from uncertain to certain, right? The unknown becomes known, you know? So I would really challenge you guys with your commitments, like go head on to whatever challenges that your prospect might have, right? And the third thing here, it's kind of related to what I just said, but it's a little bit different. And it's breaking limiting beliefs, right? This is the challenger sale approach, right? Breaking certain limiting beliefs that your prospect has. So, for example, if someone tells you, you know, hey, I need to make X amount of dollars within 30 days, you know, or even like we can talk about business. We can even go into fitness, right? Hey, I need to, like, I want to lose 30 pounds in the next month, right? Technically, that's a limiting belief in my eyes, right? And because I don't want to sell this person on a promise that they're going to be able to lose 30 pounds in 30 days. Like, I don't want to do that. Is it possible? Like, maybe in a freaking crazy circumstance, but I don't want to make that promise because one, it doesn't feel right. It's not totally honest. And two, again, it's too good to be true, creates uncertainty, right? So with something like that, it's like, hey, okay, gotcha. And hey, I love the ambition. I just want to manage expectations for a second here, Mr. Prospect. You know, well, first you might start out with hey, any reason why there's a rush to lose 30 pounds in 30 days? Like, any reason why you want to move so fast? Oh, no, not really. I just want to, you know, so and so and blah, blah, blah. Okay, gotcha. Well, let me manage expectations with you here, Mr. Prospect. Listen, I love moving fast, and I love, you know, getting you to your goals as fast as we can here. However, I think the real reason you're looking to do this is because you really want to change your lifestyle, right? Like you don't want to be skinny for, like, you don't want to get skinny fast as much as you probably want to get skinny for the rest of your life, right? And live a more healthy life and have more energy and feel more confident for yourself forever, right? Right. Okay, cool. Well, here's the thing. I'd rather, you know, create a plan here that, you know, is more sustainable and consistent over a longer period of time rather than rushing it. Is that cool with you? Like, does that sound good to you? Is that something you're open to? Okay, great. Same thing with any business opportunity offer, right? Same exact concept where you know, if someone wants like results tomorrow, you know, it's like, hey, like listen, let's take one or two steps back here, right? I don't think that's the approach that we should take, you know, and ultimately, and I say this all the time, it's like, hey, if we play the long game here, we're guaranteed to win, right? Versus if we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to get you a certain result in a really short amount of time, we're setting ourselves up for disappointment, right? That's one example, right? If someone has a limiting belief that like, hey, like I want to make $1 million a month running my business, and I've never done this before, I might say like same kind of approach, right? If someone has a belief that, you know, hey, I can run my business with $0 ever invested, you know, I'm going to break that limiting belief and we're going to create a plan of like, hey, how can we find some money to get this business going rather than selling them on a lie that they're not going to need any money, right? Same thing goes with time, right? If they have zero time, right? Like, hey, I work 14 hours a day every single day, and like I can work on this thing for half an hour a week. It's like, okay, cool. Like the amateur salesperson is gonna sell them on that lie, not you guys, right? It's like, hey, listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. You're gonna need to put in more work than that, right? How can we find time throughout the week? How can we squeeze in a couple hours every single day where you can hop on the laptop and work on this? I can't. Okay, well, in that case, I don't think we're going to be able to get you the result that you want to see, right? And that's the flip side of this. That's the flip side of this. Like, we're qualifying our prospect a little bit harder, right? We're challenging them a little bit more. We're getting, you know, real and transparent with them. So part of that, like, we have to be willing to walk away from the sale, right? We have to, if we're going to start out the call with, hey, I want to see if and how we can help you. If I feel like I can help you, I'll show you how. If not, I'll point you in the right direction. if you don't feel like you can help somebody, point them in the right direction. Get them off the call, right? You're not pitching them. You have to be willing to do that, right? If you pitch every single person that you speak to, then your agenda is full of shit. Like you don't actually mean that. Like you're just saying it because it's on a piece of paper, right? You have to be willing to walk away from the sale sometimes, right? You have to be willing to walk away from the sale if someone has like unreasonable expectations, if you know their commitment level is kind of low, you know, if that authority and expertise, like if they don't see you in that frame, then like these are certain reasons why you're going to have to disqualify your prospect, right? And that's okay. I think a healthy sales process and a great closer should be doing that, you know, from time to time, where you end the call and you know, you like, but by your call, you say, hey, listen, I can't help you here, right? That's going to give you so much conviction when you tell the next person that you can help them, you know? So I think like overall, like just like I've really taken on like a lot of the things I'm talking about now, like I've really internalized this stuff into my freaking identity and who I am, you know? And I think that's why it's so powerful over the phone. So hopefully this gives you guys some extra game. Maybe it gives some of you guys like a reframe that you guys can use on your calls to close more, have higher conviction, help people at a higher rate. But yeah, guys, I got to wrap up the call. But let's apply some of this stuff. Let me know how it goes, and we'll probably talk more about it on some of the future calls.